For the past 4 months, I've been using the Norwegian Singles approach. This is my attempt to run a marathon in under 3 hours. I've been running for 7 years, done 11 marathons, and my PB is 3:06. I've put in a ton of work this training block, 1,500 kilometers of running, with almost 900 of those on the treadmill. But I got in a bit of trouble with overtraining, and the results of my tune-up races left a lot to be desired. The A race is all that matters though, so it's time to head to Toronto and see if I can run under 3 hours at the Toronto Marathon at age 40. Hello, I am here in Toronto. I made it. I'm a day early. Got a hockey game on. Had myself some dinner. Got some pretty basic penne and pizza. Went to the expo today. Picked up my bib.
And that t-shirt pickup is just...
I did come to Toronto a day early, so the race is not tomorrow. And I'm so glad that I decided to do this because I am already pretty dang tired. I'm gonna get a good night's sleep. As we all know, the night before a marathon, it's pretty hard to get some sleep. So the most important night is the night before the marathon, which is tonight. So I'm going to bed. See you tomorrow. Good morning. It's Saturday morning. I've had a lovely carb-filled breakfast here in Toronto. I've just done my flat lay. You can see everything I'm gonna wear. I'm going with the Saucony Elite 2s. Got some arm sleeves and gloves and even a buff because it is supposed to be maybe like 0 or 2 degrees tomorrow morning. Got all my gels. My fueling plan is basically 6 beta fuels and 1 caffeine gel. Got all this stuff laid out early in case I happen to be missing something. I could go do some shopping, but everything is set. I'm set. I can just be zen for the rest of today. I think I'm gonna go find a coffee shop, maybe get some coffee and another bagel and just chill for the day. The goal is to not get in too many steps and try to relax a little bit. Looking forward to it. See you later. So I'm trying something new on this marathon, and that's to write down a list of all the things that have gone well in this training block, all the things that are working in my favor for the race, and all the things that haven't gone so well, all the things that I'm worried about, my fears, my doubts. And the hope is that by writing them down, I can calm the mind. I can recognize that, yeah, I really have put in a lot of good work this training block. And a lot of the fears and doubts, they're not actually that bad. Some of them can be controlled. Most of them are the uncontrollable stuff. That's fine. That's part of racing. So on the good side, you've got stuff like all the training that I've put in and the fact that the weather's going to be nice and it's a downhill course and there's going to be lots of other people to run with. And then the fears and doubts of things like, I got a little bit into overtraining. I've gotten a little bit too obsessed with this. Do I want to say I've gotten too obsessed with this? I guess so. I mean, that's one of them. My race results weren't really indicative of being able to run a sub 3-hour marathon. 40:43, not what I was hoping for. That's a marathon equivalent of like 3:08, so quite a bit of work to do. Okay, post-race thoughts. That was disappointing. Maybe I'm just not good at running. But overall, my time ended up being 40 minutes and 19 seconds. Honestly, not the results I wanted, but as I write them all down, there's way more on the good side than there are on the bad side, which is reassuring. Hopefully it'll help me sleep a little bit better. I won't have so many thoughts buzzing around my head. I find once I write them down, then I can kind of move on from them. So that's the hope here. Let's talk race strategy. It's pretty simple. There should be a 3-hour pacer. I'm hoping they have a pace group. I'm hoping they are experienced with this course. This is not a new marathon. I hope they run a good race because I intend to find that group and stick with them. That's basically the plan. This race is net downhill and almost all of that downhill comes in the first half. So you're basically guaranteed to positive split. So I'm not really going to be able to hold back and run a patient race. I'm actually probably going to have to bank a bit of time, which is not great. It's not how I would want to run it. We'll see what the pace group does. If I don't feel comfortable, obviously I'm running my own race, so I'm happy to do my own thing. And if that means taking it easy in the first half and hoping that conserving energy is the way to go, then I'll try to do that. I don't want to cook myself early on, but I recognize that like a steady effort early might actually be faster than sub-3 pace, with the idea that you would slow down later. Does it sound like I have a race strategy? It kind of sounds like I don't, but it makes sense to me. I think it'll be all right. One thing I meant to check in on a lot more often during this training block was the predictions that Garmin and Strava had for me. So, day before the race, let's see what Garmin thinks of me. 3 hours, 17 minutes, and 40 seconds. I sure hope I beat that, Garmin. I don't feel like Strava has a good impression of me either. 3 hours, 19 minutes, and 14 seconds. Okay, obviously I don't put a lot of stock into these things, but yeah, hopefully we can beat both of those by a good amount. Okay, that's a wrap on honestly a pretty easy day. I think I got maybe like 6,000 steps in. Nice and relaxing, lots of rest, just what I wanted. All that's left is get some sleep. Tomorrow's the day. See you tomorrow. Good morning. It's about 4:45. I'm pretty tired. It's race day. Finally race day. Ready to go.
Very, very important to work with us, with our staff. And you can feel the energy in the air. Last week in London, we broke 2 hours. Okay, count down together. We're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are off. 49th annual Toronto Marathon is underway.
The horn sounds and we're unleashed. A thunder of footfalls rains down as thousands of runners go out just a little too eagerly. For the moment, the pace group is pulling away, but I remain calm. I'll either reel them in gradually, or it was never meant to be. Within a few kilometers, though, the pace settles, and I'm given ample opportunity to join the sub-3 hour group. This group is one big advantage this race offers. It's time to tuck in and cruise for as long as possible. The other big advantage is the elevation, or lack thereof. Almost all of the first half is downhill. For the first 10 kilometers, things are feeling great. Just a few weeks earlier, marathon pace was not something I would describe as easy. But today, with the taper, the downhill, the super shoes, the pace group, it was all clicking and confidence was high. It's easy to start counting chickens before they hatch, to start envisioning the personal best, to extrapolate current performance for the rest of the race. Heck, maybe I'll even be able to pick it up later on. After all, I feel great right now. This is a trap. Stay present. Last year, the target pace was 4 minutes, 28 seconds per kilometer, and the mantra was, the 4:28 train is never early, never late, it just is 4:28. This year, the pace is 4:16, and the mantra, the 4:16 team. The 4:16 team doesn't dream. The 4:16 team isn't too keen. It's not as catchy, I grant you. But it was good enough to center me back on the present. let's talk about pacing. My strategy going into the race was to find the sub 3 hour pace group and stick with them. Or, if they didn't seem right, I would ditch them. Use the help if it's available, but don't get led astray. This is exactly what ended up happening. To me, the pace group pushed too hard on what few hills there were, and they burnt a lot of matches early on. On the downhills, they were too conservative, and to stay with them would mean braking. I much prefer to ride my momentum and just let my legs spin over on the downhills. It genuinely feels like less effort to me, and even allows me to recover a bit. As a result, I dropped the pace group around 14k into the race. There are still people around though, so it's easy enough to keep up a consistent effort here. But don't forget the pacer. We haven't seen the last of him. One thing you haven't heard me talk about is heart rate. In almost all my other races, I would be keeping a close eye on my heart rate throughout. You know, to make sure that I didn't get overly ambitious, didn't pass over that lactate threshold, and get into a state that I couldn't sustain for more than an hour. This time, though, I put a sticker over my watch so I wouldn't freak out and hold myself back. I ran to feel.
Thank you.
At the halfway mark, I've banked some serious time, and I'm already about 2.5 minutes ahead of schedule. In fact, I'm within about 30 seconds of my half marathon PB. The question is, can I hang on? Hold up though, that question isn't allowed. The 4:16 team does not dream, remember? I repeated that and pushed the premature thoughts from my head. We don't train so marathons are easy. We train so we can handle it when it gets hard. And by kilometer 25, things were starting to get hard. I began thinking of small milestones, things to look forward to, like the caffeine gel I was about to have. But alas, tragedy struck. And the gel slipped from my cold hands. My caffeine gel. My only caffeine gel. I kept running in disbelief. I would just have to abandon it. Time to work the problem. Do I have any extras? No. Are there gels available on the course? No. And just like that, it became one of the uncontrollables. So I let it go. This race would have no caffeine gel. C'est la vie. I made the decision to ration out my remaining 2 gels and take them at 28 and 34k. And I just kept running. As the race wore on, it got harder to resist the internal conversations about how much still remained. I fixated on getting to 30k, then 32. At 32k, I'd be into single-digit territory. I would hit the music for a boost of energy. Around this time, who should appear but the sub-3 hour pacer? I had been slowing down a bit at this point. The course was roughly flat now, after all. But I didn't expect to be caught. I was trying not to look at my predicted time, but I had the sense I was still working with about a 2-minute buffer. Was all of that really gone already?
Trust your training, trust yourself. Keep going. Trust your training, trust yourself. You got this.
But no. The pacer commented that he was about 2 minutes ahead of schedule, and he seemed to have dropped most or all of his group. And then he pushed on ahead. I let him go. It has been my own race for a while now. I need to finish it. As I was running, I heard someone call out, "Go Ben!" I was so locked in, this barely registered. Then I heard,
Way to go, Ben! Ben Kane, YouTuber!
This got me. I glanced back and managed a meager thumbs up, but internally, I was beaming. Thank you. Getting to 34k, my mood was changing rapidly. From, I have this in the bag, to, uh-oh. My legs started to feel heavy, and I could see my pace dropping with any small incline. The storyline of finally getting sub-3 was starting to get displaced with new drafts about how the marathon doesn't really start until the last 7k, or how I was on pace until I wasn't. The thoughts take over so rapidly that it's a battle just to avoid being consumed. The next kilometer is all that matters. Keep going. Give yourself that chance. 35K, keep pushing. 36K, do the math, keep pushing. 37K, a park run to go. 4 minutes, 30 seconds per kilometer should still get me there at this point. Right? I'm not sure. Tunnel vision is creeping in. The outside world grows darker, more distant. 38K, gotta keep pushing. I don't want to settle, not at this point. Just keep looking for the next sign. 39K, still have the buffer. 40K, 2 more kilometers and change to go. And I still have about 11 or 12 minutes. Keep going, keep pushing. 41K, about 6 minutes left. Just need to get to that 42 kilometer sign. Keep pushing. I don't see the sign. There's the sign. I can see the course turns ahead. I have to get to that turn. Then I need to find the sign. Then I have to get to it. Then I need to run the last 195 meters. Less than 2 minutes left. Oh have I blown it? I turn the corner, scanning for the 42 kilometer sign. But instead, it's the finishing arch, and it's right there. I don't even have time to process that I'm about to hit my goal before I cross the line. I've done it. Disbelief. Elation. Gotta say, that feels pretty good. I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's been following along with this series. It has been a ton of fun making these videos and honestly hearing about all of your races too and how your training's going. It's spring marathon season. We're seeing lots of those results come in. Good job for everybody who is getting it done out there. As for me, what's next? 10K is looking pretty soft. I do also have another marathon in October. Gonna have to set some goals for that. All right, that is gonna do it for this one. If this video was helpful for you, please do me a favor and subscribe. Follow along with the next journey. If you want to know more about how I adapted the Norwegian Singles approach for the marathon, you can click in this video. As always, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. I don't think I can hang this medal. Look at this thing. Ridiculous. It's the size of my face.